Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're gonna start the new topic, which is energy is needed for the life processes. Okay, so there we're gonna start this topic. We have completed our chapters till here. We've completed this whole paragraph, and let's start this one. All the living organisms need energy to perform various life processes. They get this energy from food. Food is a kind of fuel which provides energy to all the living organisms. The living organism use the chemical energy for carrying out various life processes. They get this chemical energy from the food through chemical reactions. Actually, living organisms continuously need energy for their various life processes and other activities which they perform. For example, energy is required by an organism even during sleep. This is because when we are asleep, a number of biological processes keep occurring on in our body which require energy. Our heart beats non-stop even when we are asleep to pump blood throughout the body. And this beating of heart requires energy. Thus, the working of heart requires a continuous supply of energy. Okay, so what does this whole paragraph mean? Okay, tell me one thing. किसी भी मशीन को फ्यूल चाहिए होता है एनर्जी चाहिए होता है टू डू देयर वर्क राइट car needs a petrol, diesel, whatever it is, or CNG, whatever. It needs fuel to run on the road, right? Or a plane needs fuel to, to fly in the sky, right? So every machine needs energy to perform various processes which they are made for, and we human have food as fuel, okay, to get energy to perform our daily life processes like nutrition, reproduction, or anything, so we need energy. And where do we get energy from? Yeah, it's food. We have read many times it's food from where we get energy. Okay, we use this energy. Okay, first we take in the food, we use to utilize it. Okay, we utilize the food inside our body, and it the food is utilized, and then we take the chemical energy from the food which is used for carrying out the many various life processes. Okay, so this chemical they get this chemical energy from the food through chemical reaction. Okay, so there are many chemical reaction continuously holding in our body. Okay, for example, digestion and oxidization, many processes happening in every second in our body. Okay, and that chemical reactions give us chemical energy to carry out various type of life processes. Okay, all living organisms continuously need energy of various life processes and other activities which they perform. Okay, all the living organism needs energy, right? Even non-living thing needs energy from activity. Okay, so living things needs energy continuously, even when we are sleeping. Okay, even while sleeping, because there are many activities happening inside our body when we are asleep. For example, our heart beats continuously, pump the blood throughout our body, right? And and this beating of heart requires energy. Of course, it does. Okay, so let's go to the next paragraph. Okay. The energy required by an organism comes from the food that organism eat. Thus, food is the basic requirement of all living organisms for obtaining energy. Okay, the energy required by an organism. uh, हम लोग को एनर्जी का ज़रूरत होता है, ऑफ कोर्स होता है, हर जानवर को होता है, बहुत मशीन्स को भी होता है, बट ऑल लिविंग थिंग्स मतलब जितने भी जीवित प्राणी हैं उनको एनर्जी का रिक्वायरमेंट जो होता है वो रिक्वायरमेंट कहाँ से फुलफिल्ड होता है? दैट इज द फूड वी ईट. ओके, द सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी वी रिक्वायर्ड to perform various life activities. From where do we get that energy? That is food. The food we eat. Okay. Thus, food is the basic requirement of all living organism obtaining energy. For obtaining energy, okay. Of course, it is a basic requirement. In this chapter, we will first study the process of turning on. After that, we'll study the process of moving the digested food and other materials to the various part of the body called transport and removal of the waste material from the body called excretion. Let us start with nutrition. Okay, so the topic for us is nutrition. Nutrition. What is nutrition? What is nutrition? Okay, here it is. The process of taking in the food and utilizing it is called nutrition. Okay, the process of taking it in the food. Okay, the process of consuming food and utilizing it. Utilizing it is called nutrition. Okay, let's start from here. Food is an organic substance. The simplest food is glucose. It is also called sugar, simple sugar. A more complex food is starch. Starch is made from glucose. The general name of substances like glucose, sugar, and starch is carbohydrate. Okay, we have studied many times that we digest carbohydrate in our mouth. Yeah, using our saliva. Okay, so the common name used for glucose, starch is carbohydrates that we use commonly in science or bio. Okay, carbohydrates are the most common food for getting energy. Okay, carbohydrate is the most common food for getting energy. Okay, like हम लोग ऐसा बहुत सारा खाना खाते हैं जिसमें कार्बोहाइड्रेट प्रेजेंट होता ही है. ओके, भले ही थोड़े मात्रा में हो बट वो होगा ही. Fat and protein are also food. A wider definition of food, however, includes minerals, salt, vitamins, and water, which are essential for a normal growth and development of organism. Okay, all these things are required for normal growth of organism, not only physically but also mentally. Okay, what are they? They are mineral, salts, vitamin, water, protein, fats, carbohydrate, and yeah, water. They all are essential for the growth and development of our organism. Okay. So mark this point that the process of taking in the food or consuming it and utilizing it is called the nutrition. It is a process in which food is obtained in on order to utilize it to provide energy for performing various metabolic activities of the organisms. Okay, it is a process in which food is obtained. मतलब जो खाना हम लोग खाते हैं और उसको पचाते हैं अपने शरीर के अंदर, और वो जो उससे एनर्जी कंज्यूम करते हैं उसके उस एनर्जी की हेल्प से हम लोग जो वेरियस एक्टिविटीज़ करते हैं अपने डेली लाइफ में, फॉर एग्जांपल प्लेइंग और राइटिंग, रीडिंग, many things, right? Even chewing, okay, खाना चबाना, that is also activity. So इन सब के लिए एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड होता है, और ये एनर्जी हम लोग को मिलता है कहाँ से? न्यूट्रिशन से। न्यूट्रिशन के प्रोसेस के हेल्प से हमको ये एनर्जी मिलता है। ओके, एक्चुअली द टर्म न्यूट्रिशन कम फ्रॉम द वर्ड न्यूट्रिएंट। ओके, ये जो न्यूट्रिशन वर्ड है, इट कम्स फ्रॉम व्हाट? इट कम्स फ्रॉम द वर्ड न्यूट्रिएंट. Nutrient is an organic or inorganic substance for the required for the maintenance of life and survival of a living organism. In most simpler terms, a nutrient can be said to be a particular type of food. A nutrient can be defined as, mark this point guys, a nutrient can be defined as a substance which an organism obtains from its surrounding and uses it as a source of energy or for the biosynthesis of its body, constitutes like tissues and organs. Okay. Okay, so for example, carbohydrates and fats are the nutrients which are present, which are used by an organism mainly as a source of energy, whereas protein and mineral salts are nutrients used by an organism for the biosynthesis of its body constitutes like skin, blood, etc. So yeah, of course, nutrients helps in the growth of our body, not only physically but also mentally. It constitutes, it gives us energy. First of all, it gives us energy. For example, carbohydrates and fats are mainly known for the source of energy, whereas protein and mineral salts. Here, mineral salts means the mineral. Okay. So, the mineral salts are the nutrients used by an organism for the biosynthesis, means the growth of its body. Okay. So, the food taken in by an organism contains a large number of nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fats, mineral, vitamin, and water, etc. We can now say that nutrition is a process of intake of food, intake of nutrients like carbohydrate, fats, protein, mineral, vitamin, and water by an organism, as well as the utilization of these nutrients by an organism. Yeah, of course, न्यूट्रिशन एक प्रोसेस है, न्यूट्रिशन एक प्रोसेस है जिसमें हम लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म फूड को इनटेक करते हैं, फूड को इनटेक करते हैं, और वो फूड में क्या न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं? ऑफ कोर्स न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, फैट्स, प्रोटीन, मिनरल, विटामिन, वाटर, और भी बहुत सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं, राइट? वो हम लोग अंदर लेते हैं, उसको ब्रेक डाउन करते हैं, उसको यूटिलाइज करते हैं और उससे एनर्जी कंज्यूम करते हैं, राइट? This whole process is known as nutrition. Okay. So now we'll describe the various ways of producing food or obtaining food by the different organisms. In other words, we'll now describe the different modes of nutrition of the various organisms. Okay. So mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition. Okay. So let us study about it. Modes of nutrition means method of producing food or obtaining food by an organism. All organisms do not obtain their food from food in the same way. Different organisms have different method of producing or obtaining or consuming the food. In other words, organisms differ their modes of nutrition. Okay. Depending on mode or method of obtaining food, the all organisms can be classified uh, into two groups called autotrophic and heterotrophic. Thus, there are mainly two modes of nutrition. The first one is known as autotrophic, and the second one is known as heterotrophic. ओके सो टेल मी अ थिंग कि हम लोग ह्यूमंस का ही बात करते हैं. क्या सब ह्यूमंस का डाइट एक जैसा होता है? नहीं. some are vegetarian, some are non vegetarian. Some like to take in more carbohydrate, some like to take more fats, right? Some like junk food, some like healthy foods. Okay, so we all have different diets. Just like that, all living organisms love to take food from different sources or make their food by their own with the help of some simpler inorganic substances. Okay, so the first one we are gonna read about is autotrophic. Autotrophic. Okay, so let us study about autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, let us study about it. Okay, what does the word auto means in autotropic? The word auto means self, and the trop in the autotrophic means the nutrition. Nutrition. Thus, autotropic, whole word autotropic itself means self nutrition. Okay, in autotropic nutrition, uh, organism make or synthesize its own food from inorganic raw material like carbon dioxide and water present in the surroundings by using sunlight energy. We can now say that autotrophic mode of nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which organism make or synthesize its own food from simple unorganic material like carbon dioxide or dihydroxide or water present in the surrounding with the help of sunlight energy. Okay, do not confuse in water, dihydroxide or H2O. It's all the same thing. It's all means the water. Okay. So please note that the food is an organic material. Okay, the food हम अब तो तुम लोग बोलोगे कि खाना तो हम लोग भी खुद से बनाते हैं भाई. हम लोग खाना बनाते नहीं हैं, हम लोग खाना पकाते हैं. खाना को गर्म करते हैं, उसको पकाते हैं, उसमें फ्लेवर डालते हैं, बट हम लोग खाना खुद से बनाते नहीं हैं. वो काम है प्लांट्स का, वो काम है कुछ बैक्टीरियाज का. ये काम हमारा नहीं है. हमारा काम क्या है? उसको पका के खा लेना, है ना? तो ऑलवेज नोट फूड इज एन ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल एंड हियर इज क्लियरली रिटन autotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which organisms make or synthesize its own food from the simple inorganic material like carbon dioxide or dihydroxide or the water. Okay, so let us go in the next page or next paragraph first. First, let us have a look on these pictures because this picture shows the process of photosynthesis, and we all know that a plant is a very excellent example of the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so what does a plant do? It all does is the process of photosynthesis, right? How a plant makes their own food? By the process of photosynthesis. But for class 10, this definition is incomplete. We'll see the whole definition when the photosynthesis topic will come. Okay, first let us discuss the process. The carbon dioxide goes in. Okay, first let's see the sun. Sun over here. Sun is here. Light energy is taken in. Light energy is going. The chlorophyll present in their leaf. The chlorophyll is already present in their leaf, which traps the sunlight energy, and converts it into the chemical energy. And converts it into a chemical energy. Carbon dioxide goes in, the water goes in, the water or the dihydroxide goes in through the root from the soil. The carbon dioxide goes in through the stomata from the earth, right? The process of photosynthesis is held in the kitchen, and the oxygen made comes out again in the atmosphere, again in the atmosphere, and the glucose made is transferred to all the part of the plant. Okay, the flower, the leaves, the stem, the branches, the roots, every part. Okay, so here you can see the food which we used to take in. This is the corn, this is the carrot. Okay, so let us go through the next page. Okay. um This means that in autotrophic nutrition, organic material food is made or synthesized from inorganic material like carbon dioxide and water by utilizing the sunlight energy. The green plants have an autotrophic mode of nutrition. The autotrophic bacteria also obtain their food by the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Though most bacteria are not autotrophic, the but some are. The organism having a autotrophic mode of nutrition are called autotrophic organism or just autotrophs. Okay, please highlight or underline this whole part from the green plant till the autotrophs over here. Okay, let's go through the next paragraph, which is here. Those organisms which can make their own food from the carbon dioxide and water are called autotrophs. Okay, this is already clear. Carbon dioxide and water are inorganic substances. So we can say that those organisms which can make their food from the inorganic substances present in the environment are called autotrophs. Okay, this is the this is the most beautiful thing about this book, that it repeats the same thing again and again so that you can learn it, you can remember it. Okay, so those organisms which can make their own food from inorganic substances present in the environment are called autotrophs. All the green plants are autotrophs, I've already told. And some bacteria, we have some beautiful bacteria which are present in our environment, which are called autotrophs because they synthesize their own food. Okay. However, non-green plants are not autotrophs. Certain bacteria are called autotrophic bacteria are also autotroph. Okay, I've already told. The autotrophic organism or autotrophs contain the green pigment called chlorophyll, which is capable of trapping sunlight energy. Okay, we have read this many times in earlier classes as well. Okay, the autotrophs have a so-called green pigment, which is known as chlorophyll, which have a capability, which have a ability to trap the sunlight, which is capable to trap the sunlight. Okay, this trapped sunlight is utilized by the autotroph to make food by combining inorganic material like carbon dioxide and water present in the environment by the process of photosynthesis. Thus, autotrophs make their own food by photosynthesis. So, autotrophs are called producers of the food. The food produced by autotrophs or green plants is also used by humans and many other animals. Okay, so autotrophs produce their own food. वो खुद से खाना प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, मतलब वो बनाते हैं, वो पकाते नहीं, वो बनाते हैं, राइट। वो खुद से खाना बनाते हैं, तो इसीलिए उनको क्या कह दिया गया, प्रोड्यूसर, बिकॉज दे प्रोड्यूस द फूड, ओके, दे डू नॉट cook the food, they produce the food. That's why the autotrophs are known as producers of the food. Producers of the food. Okay. The food produced by autotrophs or the plants is used by us or many animals like deer, etc. Right? Directly or indirectly, we are dependent on plant. Okay. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay. The word heteros means others and trop refers to the nutrition. Thus, heterotrophic means nutrition obtained from others. In heterotrophic nutrition, the organism cannot synthesize its own food from inorganic raw material like carbon dioxide or dihydroxide or the water, and uses the food made by autotrophic organism directly or indirectly. We can now say heterotrophic nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot make or synthesize its own food from simple organic inorganic substance like carbon dioxide or water, and depends on other organism for its food. Okay, so this is the proper definition of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, right? This is the proper definition. Highlight it. It's important. It can come in exam. Okay. A heterotrophic organism is a consumer which derives its nutrition from other organisms. That is, a heterotrophic organism has to eat other organism for its nutrition. Okay. So many animals are like tiger or lion or bear, as you can see in the figure given here. They're dependent on the other animal for their food. Okay. Okay. So all animals have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Most bacteria and fungi also have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Of course, fungi do have heterotrophic mode of nutrition because they do not contain chlorophyll, green pigment, so-called chlorophyll. Okay, when the organisms having heterotrophic mode of nutrition are called heterotrophic organisms or just heterotrophs. ओके, हम लोग जो मतलब खाना खुद से नहीं बना पाते हैं, जो डिपेंडेंट हैं ऑन ऑटोट्रॉप्स, उनको हम क्या बोल देते हैं, हेटरोट्रॉपिक ऑर्गेनिज्म, हेटरोट्रॉपिक ऑर्गेनिज्म और जस्ट heterotrophs or just heterotrophs. You can call them heterotrophs or heterotrophic organisms. Okay. So now those organisms which cannot make their own food from inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water, and depend on other organisms for their food are called heterotrophs. All the animals are heterotrophs because they cannot make their food from inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, and obtain their food from other plants or animals. Thus, man, dog, cat, deer, tiger, bear, lion, cow, etc. are all heterotrophs. Okay, so the non-green plants like yeast are also heterotrophs. Okay, the so-called non-green plants are also heterotrophs. Okay, so well, already told that fungi and yeast, mushroom are all heterotroph because they do not have so-called green pigment to capture the sunlight and synthesize their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, heterotrophs depend on autotrophs and other heterotrophs for their food. In other words, animals are heterotrophs which depend on plant or other animals for their food. Okay, so let's end this video over here. We'll see you in the next part of the chapter. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Keep learning.